For us, maybe in Europe it's different. Europe is different, but here, if people are serious, it will be easy, because once we do the two, keep away the matchbox, scatter the dry grass, then you also add on your own individual responsibility. Yeah. Don't go in the public when you are sneezing. Or coughing. Don't go into, don't touch yourself in the soft parts of your body, especially the eyes and the nose and the mouth. So even if the other people had infiltrated, the ones from outside, if at the individual level you observe those and wash your hands, you observe those measures, still the virus will be contained, it will not spread. We are still assessing the effect. We don't want to rush too quickly to celebrations, celebrate that we have succeeded. That's why we are coolly looking at the results and monitoring. We started testing people for the virus on the 21st of March. That day we tested 11, only one was positive. The 10 were negative. The 22nd, we tested 22 and nobody was positive. They were all clean. On the 23rd, we tested 27, 8 were positive. 19 were not positive, were negative, were clean. 24th, we tested 143. 5 were positive. 138 were negative. 25th of March, we tested 104. Nobody was positive. 104 were all clean. 26th, 197. Were tested, 4 were positive. 193 were negative. 27th, 227. 5 were positive. 222 were clean. 28th, 225. 7 were positive. 218 were negative. 29th, 206. 3 were positive. 203 were negative. 30th, 82 tested, nobody positive, all 82 clean. 31st, 176 tested, 11, these were the school children, they were total, were positive. 165 were clean. 1st of April, 63 were tested. There was nobody who was positive. They were all clean. 2nd April, 302 tested. Only 1 was positive. 301 were clean. 3rd of April, 419 were tested. Only 3 were positive. 416 were negative, were clean. 4th of April, 398 were tested, nobody was positive, all 398 were clean. 5th of April, 300 were tested, 4 were positive, 296 were negative. 6th of April, 231 were tested, nobody was positive, all 231 were clean. 7th, which was yesterday, 150 were tested, nobody was positive, all 150 were clean. Today, 8th of April, I have just been told 214 were tested, only 1 was positive, so 213 were clean. So if you add the ones of today, that is about 3,600, about there. About 3,600 have been tested, only 53 are positive. So that's where we are now. We are assessing, and many of these people, the ones we are testing are 2 types. One group are the people whom we stopped at the airport, near the airport, and we put in the quarantine. Obusibe, Twabasiba. And the majority of the people, you can make the calculation for me, out of these 52, how many were in the quarantine? You calculate it for me and let me know before I finish. So the majority of the 53 were the ones in the quarantine. But secondly, some who had gone through, who had bypassed the quarantine, gone to the villages, we trace their contacts and we bring them back. And some of these are those. These people call them in their own language something else. This is what they call them. But for me, I call them the ones they had interacted with. Bebasiga. Abaturide. The ones they would have infected, the one they had interacted with. Now, that tracing is continuing. I'm told that around that time, those days, about 18,000 people came through that airport. And our people are tracing them. Where did they go? All these 18,000. Maybe the minister can say something later on. Therefore, I want to thank Ugandans for responding well. Because if you had not responded well, and if we had not acted in time, I don't know where we would be now. Because many of the people we blocked, they are from those countries where you hear a lot of problems continuing. First of all, these ones here, these 52, whom we have captured. What would have happened if they had continued and circulated freely in the society? But secondly, how about others? If they had come in, the ones we blocked, what would have happened? So I want to thank Ugandans for responding well and for behaving and listening to the guidelines. There are, however, some actors that play with fire. They play with fire. this disease is very dangerous for many people, especially the ones with the other health conditions, the ones with HIV, the ones with blood pressure, the ones with diabetes. I hear even the pregnant women, that's what I hear. Is this true? They keep talking about it also, that it can also be another issue. So therefore, those who are playing with this fire should stop. They should not play around with us and should stop talking nonsense. From the beginning, I told you this is not about convenience. Oh, we are in the house. We are what do they call it? That they are bored. You are bored. Good. That's good for you to just be bored. You could have something more radical than that. You could be in the grave. Of course, in the grave there is no boredom. I think in the grave things are very calm. So that's nonsense. We are bored. We are the businesses, the money, the what. That is all rubbish. It is not the issue now. The issue on the table is life and death. And life and death on a big scale, not just 20 people, 30 people. People die, but we don't want people to die on such a big scale. Now, I have heard of categories, the ones who go to exercise in public, imagine. The other day I saw a video on Northern Bypass, a huge mass of people. They were just there walking, running, what, that they are exercising. If you want to exercise, you can exercise in your house. I don't have enough room here. I would have shown you how to exercise indoors. But tomorrow I will make a video for you. I will make a video for in one of my rooms, and I show you how you can exercise indoors. That's how I survive. Because I normally come back late, 11 o'clock. I find normally when Mama Janet has already slept. But somehow I run in the room. You can run from one end of the room. You make 20 laps. You do your push-ups. You exercise. That's how we survive when we were in the resistance. Landed in a hotel, you are hiding. You don't want people to know that you are there. You couldn't go in Hyde Park. In London, they see a black man running around that he's exercising. I would just exercise inside our room there. I could be there for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, waiting for something. In Libya, when we go to Libya to get support from Gaddafi, the Arabs are very chaotic. You go to see them today, they are always talking of Bukra, tomorrow. And you are staying in the hotel all the time. How do you survive? You must have discipline, you people. You must be disciplined. You must stop this carefree type of life. So there should be no exercising in public. I saw even the British struggling with their own people there, that they were sunbathing, that the sun of spring has come. They want to be in the sun, and I saw the one who is acting on behalf of Mr. Boris Johnson, fighting with them, telling them I think it was the Minister of Health, telling them to go back into the houses. So there should be no exercising in public. Exercise in your compound, exercise in your room. And tomorrow I will put for the video for you how to show you how you can exercise in your rooms. Then there are I am having problems with my indisciplined security people who like beating people. I don't know why they like beating people. Beating people is not part of security work. Security work, you tell people to go home. If they refuse, you arrest them with the police person, and you put a handcuff if you have the handcuff. But you don't beat. Beating, as if you are, even cows, we don't beat them these days. I don't want to see a security person beating people. I told you I don't want to hear security people entering people's compounds or people's houses at night. But now people are saying that because of that, some of the people have turned their private houses into bars. Okay, that's true. That could be true. But what is the right way of handling it? The right way of handling it is you get intelligence, you report to your superior officer who knows how to contact the authorities concerned, and they allow you to search now. So you go to search. You go to search because you already have some information. Because they are committing a crime. They are committing a crime. They are breaching the rules of the health emergency. This is a health emergency. This is a health emergency, the violation of which is very, very serious. Anybody violating these emergency regulations is actually attempting to commit murder. It's not just ordinary crime. If you are arrested, you will be charged with attempted murder. You brought people, you wanted them to die, you turned your house into a bar, the people you brought, you don't know who they are, you are a murderer, you are a potential murderer. But now, you need to handle it in a legal way. Get information, report to your senior officer by the phone. We have got phones all over the place. The superior officer will now allow you to search, to go, not to enter every home, but to enter the home where there is suspicion, in order to search for the one who is breaking the health emergency regulations. So don't use that as a pretext. Don't say, because they stopped us from invading people's homes, therefore now for us we are just sitting, we are just watching. That is now, you have gone on a strike, and I will have to charge you with the mutiny. You have now mutiny. I will have to charge you next time with mutiny. So please, don't go from one extreme to another extreme. Don't go from extreme of brutality, and then you go to the extreme of excessive liberalism. Handle the issues of family, but legally. Family, but legally. And all these people they are doing have nothing to do with security. Beating people, why are you beating people? Because you give yourself a very bad, you give our security forces a bad image. And we need that good image in the whole world. The people to be with us, even the ones who are on your side, when they see you beating people, they now turn against you. So you are now weakening us. You are not strengthening us. That beating, which is illegal, which is pointless, what are you beating now? What are you beating for? Arrest him and charge him. Then in that way you would have punished him. But now you have beaten. Yes, of course he has felt pain, but what you have done is illegal. And it is isolating us, both internationally but even internally. So please don't mix up things. The same with the ones who are holding sacred communal prayers. The same. If you get information that people are holding communal prayers contrary to the health emergency regulations, use intelligence, then you go there for research. In the same way, like I said, for the ones who have turned their homes into bars. No border should be seen carrying a person, a passenger. Even if it is your own baby, please do not do that. We said the borders could carry only cargo. The borders could help in carrying cargo, especially this one. This is the one of door-to-door deliveries. But these borders should stop at 2. By 2 in the afternoon, if you have been delivering parcels, you started at 7 in the morning, surely by 2 you have finished your duties. Stop there. So we don't want to see borders on the road after 2. Now, the security people who say that because I told Nakarema to receive complaints from the public about the behavior of the security forces, some of the people have relaxed. We don't want to be accused to Nakarema. Be accused for what? If you are accused falsely, the facts will be proved and you will be proved right. Do your work. If they complain against you falsely, the facts will come out. Today I told of course you the security people, you are also in trouble, because now I have my eyes. I don't have to depend on you. This is what you don't know. Because my cameras are everywhere. So this afternoon I told IGP, you go in the camera room and watch for me what's happening. So the Inspector General was in the camera's room, and he gave me a report of what he saw. Of course, even what he saw is in video. So anybody who is not doing his work, we shall get him. We shall get him and punish him. So don't use by telling you that be disciplined. Don't say now, in order not to be accused, I will do nothing. I will break the law by not doing my work. You will end up losing your job and also going to prison, because we shall check, we shall monitor by using remote methods to find out who is doing his work and who is not doing it. And you can also be accused of attempted murder because you are not doing your work, and because you are not doing your work, irresponsible people are endangering the lives of Ugandans. Now, again, I heard of the politicians who are trying to involve themselves in the distribution of food. The police should arrest those people and charge them with attempted murder, because they are, by undermining the health emergency regulations, they are really endangering the lives of Ugandans. Yesterday, I drove to Nakasongora. As you know, we have a lot of support in all those areas, but I couldn't stop anywhere. People were stopping me, but I refused to stop. Because when I stop, 50 people gather around me. Oh. Now, by gathering, I am actually endangering them. So a leader who doesn't see this is really an enemy of the people of Uganda. I didn't stop. I couldn't stop anywhere. They were trying to stop to tell me this. Some were holding their stomach that they are hungry. I just wave at them because to stop is to invite a gathering. So a leader who doesn't care about people's lives, what sort of leader is he? You can play political gimmicks when there's no danger. You can, of course, it's also not good to play gimmicks. But when you play gimmicks in this type of situation, you are a real enemy of the people. And the police should not tolerate this. Should arrest them, charge them, no bail, so that they pay for their sins. Now, you get stories of landlords who are trying to evict people because of rent. This should not be allowed. This should not be allowed. The police should not allow these landlords, because they are trying to exacerbate a health crisis. They should contribute. The world is not ending today. The person has not paid, but the debt is there. This shutdown is for a limited period. It will be over, and you can demand your money. Let us be strict, implementing all the guidelines, and then we shall see after 30 days since we started. We know when we closed the schools, it was 30 days. Then within the 30 days, we have got these 14 days of the total shutdown. We shall be assessing and see how things are moving. But for me, I think I'm a bit happy because I can these small numbers of the positive may not be conclusive, but it is showing some success, at least on one side. Of course, here, remember that these people we are following are mainly the people coming through the airport, the ones we quarantined, and the ones they contacted. How about the people who came through the land borders? We don't know them. So that's why we should not be too rush. Because the land, these are like, the airport was easy to monitor. But the land borders, we don't know what's happening there. But the villagers are vigilant. Even there, I'm not very pessimistic because they report any new people. So I think we shall also be able to know that. Now, some people are talking of preparedness. I had some people trying to, as usual, talk, oh, Uganda is not prepared. No, Uganda is very prepared. It's very prepared in the biggest element of preparation, of preparedness. We had the outbreak of Ebola, I think it was 2001, where we lost Dr. Lukuya in Lacho. At that time, we had nowhere to test Ebola or a disease like this one, COVID. We had to take the samples to Atlanta, Georgia, in the USA. The only other testing center was in South Africa. Starting with 2007, we had built a capacity here, working with the Germans. Then later on in 2010, the CDC of the Americans also joined us. So these tests I'm reading to you are all done here. We no longer send tests to South Africa. or to anywhere. They are all done here. Now, this is the biggest element of the preparation. The other thing they are talking about, masks and so on, these are easy to mobilize. They are easy to mobilize because these are just buying them. But this one, you had to have the equipment, have the people trained. So Uganda is quite prepared. It's just a question of scaling up. On the issue of the masks, they are going to come now. Yesterday I was with the Lieutenant General Mijira of NEC. We are going to bring on 1 million surgical masks through NEC, through the NEC line. And then also the 50,000 N95 and so on. Besides, our factories are gearing up to produce these items. Naitir, Mulwana, there's a professor at Makere called Wazeyo. These are all coming up to produce these items. URI, we are even looking at producing hydroxychloroquine, although I also talk with the Indians about this. So actually we are going to end up much better than we have ever been. You have seen the issue of the sanitizers. We had only one factory producing sanitizers when this crisis started, and it was exporting it to Kenya, to other places. Some of our people wanted to be like the other people in Europe, say, we only keep it for ourselves. I said, please, I want to go to heaven. I cannot talk like that. Christians don't talk like that. So let's share the little we have. God will provide. But in no time, so many factories have come in, have responded. Now I think Uganda is going to export even more and more and more these sanitizers, because these sanitizers are based on a Vicado. You remember we're having a lot of Vicado. I think the minister must be happy now that the Vicado have got a very big demand for their product. The sugar cane, then what do you call these? The bananas juice. You get the waraji, you get the sanitizers. Now even the issue of the reagents, we are going to try to bring companies here which can help us to develop the reagents for testing. I'm talking with some friends to do that. Now, on the issue of examinations, some people were putting pressure that they want to have exemption to have exams. But this is not understanding the situation. We shouldn't be like, I don't want to use a strong word. The Banyankwere have a saying about Chifuchamtuma. Chifuchamtuma wakamjangwenju yasi atumunyarire mbyani. There was a man who was not very clever. They told him that the house is on fire. Then he said, oh, you prepare the bed for me so that I sleep. Sleep where? The house is on fire. We are not talking about these normal things, about sleeping, we are talking about getting out of fire. This is what we are talking about. So please, people should stop talking language of normalcy in a period of abnormalcy. Yeah. stop that line. So this trying to have examination, because if you give exemption to one university, how about the others? And even the ones you give exemptions to, are you not endangering them? Even if no others copied them, even if it was only those, they come back from their villages. You have not tested them. But even testing itself is not really proof, because you can test negative today, and tomorrow you got positive. So the best thing is just to lie low for a limited period, and if we all do that, because the good thing with this disease, it comes out quickly in many cases. So actually we are not fighting with the disease. We are fighting with, especially in Africa here, we are fighting with social indiscipline. This is what we are fighting with. It's not the disease. No, don't say, here in Africa it's not the disease. It is just the indiscipline of people. In Europe, yes, in Europe, because their system there was already like these trains, the tubes, what they call tubes, that you put people in tubes. Now, if you put people in tubes, then what happens? Eh? They infect themselves on a mass scale which you can't imagine. I hear that a tube carries I don't know how many people. I have never, fortunately, I've never been in any one of them. Never. So for their lifestyle there is I think, is the one which exposed them. But here, the way we live, if we listen to these measures we have taken, we can really stop this this problem. So instead of behaving like the other man, the one who said, "You prepare the bed for me," when they are saying the house is on fire. Let's just kuvumilia, persevere for some days. This is not the first time. 1985, southwestern Uganda was cut off during the fighting. I cut you off, you people. I remember I cut you off from September 1985 at Katonga. You couldn't go there. I had my own government there. And you had yours here in Kampala. And the students were caught up there. They didn't sit end of year, that year 85. But when the crisis was over, I can see some of the big people here, they were part of that group. Some were cut off and so on. But this did not stop. By January, when the problem was over, the authorities arranged, I don't know whether they said new exams or what. I have actually never studied what actually happened that time. Did the people in the Kampala sit for the exams? The Kampalians sat. But by the end of 86, the whole thing was sorted out. So why should this be such a problem? And you expose people. On the vehicles, when the IGP went into the camera command center, he saw many vehicles which were carrying cargo, which was all right, the lorries, but you saw a lot of double cabins and other pickups which were carrying nothing. So it seems the double cabin owners and the pickup owners think that even if you are not carrying cargo, as long as you are driving a pickup, and a double cabin, you are free to move. This is not the case. The case is that we exempted the double cabins and the pickups in order to carry cargo. But if you are not carrying cargo, if you are just traveling, you should not be allowed. And really it is easy to do this because our cameras are in many towns now, so we should be able to monitor this. So therefore, all the double cabins, all the pickups, if they are not carrying cargo, please don't move around. But even the vehicle, the cargo vehicles, don't carry civilians. Don't carry people inside your, because I'm told some people are putting people, if we catch you like that, you will go you will face attempted murder charges. Let me give the Minister of Health a chance to make some comments, then I will come and conclude.
Excellency, at the airport, we managed to identify 9 people. That was the index case and 8 others. From quarantine so far, we have identified 30. And then the balance of the 13 are people who had contact with the people we called back.
30 plus
9.
9.
9 from the airport.
Okay.
30 from quarantine, and 13 from contacts of people who had returned and initially gone back to their communities. And Excellency, as we had indicated before, we are working back to the 7th of March to review all those who came into the country from the 7th. We took 7th of March because we closed the airport on the 22nd. And if you work backwards on the incubation period 14 days before, it brings us to 7th. The passenger manifest from the 7th up to the 22nd reveals 18,860 people who came into the country. Apart from those who are under quarantine, the rest are with us in the communities. We are cognizant of the fact that there are many people who may not be showing any signs or symptoms, but may be shedding the virus. And so we target to reach out to these people and have them tested. And if they test positive, we shall isolate them for treatment. They test negative, that is okay, we leave you where you are. When we come to test you, we shall not remove you from your home. That is the benefit of this lockdown. Because you're already at home, we remove your sample, you continue under self-quarantine, and we only remove you when you test positive. And also test your family members. The benefit of doing that will ensure that we weed out infections that may be with us in the communities. Apart from that, we are also following up on the contacts of people, the 13. We have so far listed 960 of them that we are following up in the various parts of the country, including Kalangala, Hoima, Iganga, Adjumani, Wakiso, and other places. During the time when we are following up these contacts, we'll get more information about whom they have interacted with and also test them accordingly. We especially want to appeal to another group of people also, and those are the cargo people that are coming into the country. With effect from tomorrow, we'll be taking samples from all cargo people coming, because we are also aware of the rising numbers of infections in the neighboring countries, and just to ensure that they don't come in with infection. We also know that there are people crossing in through the porous borders. We also want them identified and tested so that we avoid importing new infection into the country. We especially want to appeal to the communities, because you are our strength. You know the new people who joined you. You know the people who traveled. We are just appealing for support, not violence. You need to support one another so that we can identify the infections and remove them from among the community. As the President has indicated, we are not talking about comfort or convenience, we are talking about life and death. And it is important that we identify potential sources of infection and remove them from among the population so that we can keep the numbers of infections down. And that is the basis for the lockdown. So I want to appeal to you to observe the lockdown, the extreme social distancing. Stay in your homes. Thank you, Excellency.
So you have had
The 9 out of the 53, 9 were identified at the airport from the temperature monitor. When they came, the temperature monitor showed their temperature up. Even before they entered, they were put aside and checked again and again, and then confirmed and taken to hospital. So those are the 9. Then among the people they put under the quarantine, it is where the other 30 have come from. So that is 39 now. 30 plus 9. But the total number is now 53. I think we were talking about 52.
So quarantine is now 31.
So in the quarantine we are 31. Because even the additional one of today was in the quarantine. So so therefore these are people who are coming from where the disease is, but who never entered. But more interesting is that some who entered went and eventually they were traced. So the ones who went into the village are part of the 13 with the people they infected locally. So the 13 include like the man of Masaka who went and infected his wife and his daughter. So there are 3 of them. And the man of Iganga who infected his daughter, his baby. Then the Hoima one. That one infected how many? Okay. So these are the 13. So these are the 13. So I want to thank the Ministry of Health. They are doing a very good job, a professional job. Don't panic. There was also some scare, some confusion. People were saying that people in the health center 3 don't have equipment to enable them to take samples. The people in the health center 3 are not the ones supposed to take samples from these suspicious cases. There are what they call hubs. Hubs are like the regional centers. And the minister is saying there are 100 in the whole of Uganda. These are the ones who are equipped with the information and the capacity to take samples. So what you should, and the one who is suspected should not be moved. In Europe, a lot of health workers have died because of this problem of the infectious diseases from the patients. You remember here we lost Dr. Rukuya. The other day I was speaking with our ambassador in New York. We lost one of our people called Mama Gita, and she was a nurse in New York, and she has died in this problem. She's a relative of one of our people whom we know. So I think, as Minister of Health, we should have standard protection for our people, epidemic or no epidemic. I don't see why health people should touch patients without gloves and without masks. Why don't we make it standard, whether there's epidemic or no epidemic? Because like in Europe, people were infected, they were handling these people. Even in China, the other doctor who died, they were handling these people with the new disease, but I think without the precautions. What do you say about that? Why can't we have a standard, epidemic or no epidemic? Don't touch patients with bare hands. Don't breathe into patients, and they should not breathe into you. Protect your mouth. Only remove it when you go back to your doctor's room. What's the problem? Why can't we have that standard? No epidemic, because the other time we were surprised by Ebola. We have now been surprised by this one. There's also Marburg. I think Marburg also caused some surprise. So why don't we standard-wise? Why don't you assume that the doctor may be a problem to the patients, and the patients may be a problem to the doctor, and that the best thing is to protect both? Well, the one whom you by dressing up the doctor properly, we are protecting him, but also protecting the patient, because the doctor can also infect the patient. I don't see why we don't make it. We go on with this. So many health workers have died in Europe. So I hear. I'm sorry that during the LDUs stopped medical doctors and harassed them without knowing who they are before they got stickers. I'm very sorry about that. But you see, it is the caveat of this type of situation. Really, because because we discussed it, I had an opinion that Soketo Barabri, we should announce first that you people from tomorrow we are going to do this. But then people told me that no, Mr. Museveni, that is your politics. But that's not how to control epidemic. Epidemic, you just move. So that being stopped and so on, being beaten, nobody should be beaten. This beating is not acceptable. But being stopped and being sacked and being what, please, that one was inevitable given our situation. I have appealed for donations. In particular, I want us to build up the transport fleet of the Ministry of Health, because we are now having the problem of how to evacuate the pregnant women from the villages without using private vehicles, which then have their own problems. The best way would be to have government vehicles, enough to do the work. And I was estimating if we had like 10 per district, since the districts are no longer too big these days, I think they would be reasonable. This means we need about 1,350, 1,400 there. So I appeal to you to contribute. And I'm glad a number of people have already contributed. I have a lot of people here. Huawei contributed video conference equipment for Ministry of Health. Uganda Insurance Assurance contributed blankets, 1,000. Renzori, bottled water, 30 cartons. Pepsi, bottled drinking water, 100 cartons. Crest foam mattresses, 200 pieces. Rose foam mattresses, 200 pieces. Eurofoam mattresses, 100 pieces. These mattresses can help us to equip the quarantine centers. I hope they are the right types with the plastic cover, which is easy to disinfect. Eurofoam mattresses, 100 pieces. Conform mattresses, 60 pieces. Knight Frank mattresses, 60 pieces. Uganda Breweries mattresses, 60 pieces. NC Bank mattresses, 60 pieces. Sprout Investment mattresses, 200 pieces. Royal Foam mattresses, 200 pieces. Carrero Sugar, 500 bags, very good for my people in Kampala. Japan Automotors, these have contributed 8 vehicles, and bottled water, 100 cartons. Coca-Cola has given us empty jerrycans, 187, Vidomora. Uganda Insurers blankets, 1,000. Uganda Insurers Shell Vivo bed sheets, 1,000. UBA Bank, this is our friend Erumeru, the Nigerian, $150,000. Skin Guard sanitizers, 100 cartons. Move It products, hand wash soap, 200 cartons. Toilet soap, 200 cartons. Coffee. Oh, $40,000. Swastika Pharmaceuticals, 5 million shillings. Mega Industries, bar soap, 100 cartons. Darling, 200 million. Who is this Darling?
Yeah, that makes the braids. It makes the braids for women.
Oh.
They no longer put the hair.
They make it here?
Yes.
Oh. From ABI? So that is 200 million. Now, this money I would want you to buy vehicles, because I want to concentrate on vehicles. 4-wheel drive, brand new pickups. I don't want second hand. So that we build up this fleet of the ministry. Sayan Brothers, no, IGAD, I don't know who $100,000.
These are staff of IGAD. They contributed.
Oh, okay. $100,000. Sayan Brothers, 50 million. Consortium of Standard Chartered Bank, 100 million shillings. So this should be published in the papers. Starbucks cylinders for Ministry of Health. Sunbelt Industries, $30,000. Eco Limited, 3 spray pumps. Indian Association, PPE, 500. What is PPE? Personal protective equipment, 500 pieces. Gloves, 30,000. Liquid soap, 200 liters. Face shields, 90. Hand sanitizers, 1,200 watt.
The containers.
Oh, containers. Barrage group of companies, sanitizers, 1,000 liters. Abacus Group.
This is a pharmaceutical company.
Dextrose, 5%, 3,000. Normal saline, 3,000. Ringers, 2,010. Fluids and so 1,000. Brack soap, 17,000 something. Crown Beverage bottled drinking water, 30 cartons. Sinohydro and Power China cooking oil, maize flour, mobile phones, Blue Wave, 400 cartons. Dodita Group face masks, 10,000 pieces. Sanitizers, testing kits. Madvani mosquito nets, 2,000 pieces. Dot Services motor vehicle pickup double cabin, 1. Tembo Steel motor vehicle pickup double cabin, 1. Sudhir Group of Companies motor vehicles, 2 double cabins, pickup double cabins. This all should be brand new and 4-wheel drive. Oh, People's Power, Kamocha, Posho, 50 bags. Thank you very much, People's Power. Salt, 30 cartons. Soap, 30 boxes. Thank you so much. Now you see you are now joining the people now. Southern Range Limited, 100 million. Koika, they haven't yet delivered. Government of India, 2 ambulances. People's Republic of China, ambulance, 2 of them. Murana Group, 2 ambulances. Chongqing International Construction Company, 215 blankets. China Rail number 7, they have not indicated. Coffee testing kits, $40,000. I think that one they are repeating. Stambik, personal protective equipment, 60,000. Financing Stambik, 100 million shillings. Stambik gloves, 5,000. Stambik fuel, 55 million what? Liters or what?
Liters.
55 million shillings. Airtel data, they don't say. MTN, they don't say. Oh, very good.
I'm sending all those messages on radio, TV,
Yes. Very good. So thank you so much. I think we have covered most of the areas. Want to say something on education, Prime Minister? No, on anything.
And it's also right to point out that His Excellency the President has assigned Honorable Karoro, Minister for General Duties Office of the Prime Minister, to take overall political responsibility of making sure that this fund is built up and administered properly. And His Excellency has also assigned Dorothy Kisaka to be the administrator of this fund. And His Excellency has also appointed a team of Ugandans with a lot of experience in matters of this nature, and the team should be able to be announced even tomorrow. So I also join His Excellency the President in asking Ugandans to support this effort. Mr. President, I should point out that one of the LC leaders, LC1 chairman, Mr. Rubega in Namugongo, in Chireka, was able to mobilize 1 million shillings and presented it to us. And he set a very good example, because the support we need is for everybody, both who can afford a lot of money and those who can mobilize small amounts of money. The last comment I want to make is that this fund will be managed well. It will be managed professionally and transparently, and a regular publication of what has been contributed will be issued by the Chief Administrator or the overall coordinator of the fund, Mayor Carol.
Thank you. Mr.
President, I wanted we were trying to show them the problems of the fact that not all students can access those exams online, and we were getting appeals from those who know that they cannot. And so we were trying to convince the leadership of the universities, especially UCU, that it will be unfair to have some of the students take exams and others fail to take them, and that they can just have some patience when the schools and universities reopen, then everybody can take these exams at the same time. And I'm happy now to have heard from the President also, because I was also trying to persuade them to understand that really what is important in this period is to ensure that everybody is safe and they are healthy and they are at home. And when we are all reassured by the Ministry of Health in the country that this crisis is over, then everybody can come back to where they want to be, and they can do part of the education that they were left with. So I pray that you understand that really we are not just stopping you to do what you want to do. We are just trying to help you understand that what is important in this period is indeed to be safe and healthy and stay healthy until we get out of this crisis. So I hope everybody in the country will understand, and others were saying that the message I sent out recently about the fact that if everything is right, that the schools can reopen about the 27th of April. I also said at the same time that if things don't go according to that plan, that we would come back and inform them about then when the schools will reopen,
So everybody should just stay put and let us all be patient and protect the life, which is what is most important, until we all can emerge out of this crisis safely and everybody healthy. Thank you. I hope that just clarifies some of what others will still considering could be done. Thank you so much. Thank you, Secretary.
But these doing exams online, who invigilates? Who checks? Suppose I sit in my room and I copy from the books. Huh?
The UCU is the one that was really adamant about.
But that question
But we asked them that question also, because normally the courses that are done online, they prepare how exams can be done, and they are exposed to that method of doing courses online. And we wanted to be sure that UCU has that method, and they are exposed to it, and they have a way to supervise the exams online. But they said that this is not online, that this is a program that is like homework taken away, that they make a package for the students, and they do exams, and then they send, I think they said they're supposed to send it back to university for examination. But all that didn't add up. That's why we were trying to persuade them to really just leave this program.
I would have mercenaries, that you can hire mercenaries.
Well, I don't think they would go to that extent. But I think the best way to do it is to really just wait patiently so that they can come back to university and do the exam as they know it. So I believe that that's what they will do. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. But anyway, we're not going to allow them, so it's not a question of negotiations. It is a matter of we must observe the health emergency guidelines without exception until we get out of the danger. With the schools open on the 27th, that will depend on the situation. It will depend on the situation. We must defeat the thing on the table. The book of Ecclesiastes, there is time for everything. There is time for examinations. There is time for business. There is time for cattle keeping. But there is time for survival. This is the time for survival. This is really a matter of survival, not the usual way of life. It's an abnormal situation. We are lucky that it has not escalated, and nobody really should waste our time. We can't go on begging people to leave. We cannot go begging people, please don't die, don't die, don't die, don't kill others. And then you just go on as if you are, we should not speak very many times about this. Everybody should understand and cooperate. And the good thing is that once you cooperate, it doesn't take long. It's within like in China now, that city Wuhan, where everybody had to stay indoors. Forget not to drive in with borders. No, indoors, each one. Now they're able to move. They have recorded no death, I think, for some time. And now they have started to move. But in the Western countries where there is always this chaos of Nantagambo Ako, you cannot, people don't listen. You see what has happened? More people have died now in Italy. And Italy, remember, the population of Italy is much less than the one of China. But more people have died there than all the people that died in China. And the difference is just caused by discipline. In China, it is easier to say, don't do this, and people don't do it. In the other places, the Wanyankole say they are all the big holes. There's no small hole which can tewarika akakumbi. Everybody is big. You can't stop this one. You can't stop that one. That's how the Europeans have suffered so much. We are going to recognize them next time. We are not ending it today. Ugandans, I think this was compiled by one group. Now you are the big woman of the Wiyambi. So next time you compile it properly. But one of the people was His Highness the Kabaka, contributed 100 million shillings. So the list will be given next time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
During this pandemic, every little contribution helps. Help those most affected by the effects of coronavirus. You can donate to the Red Cross using MTN Momo Pay. Simply dial *165*3#. Then enter the code 191919 and follow the prompts. Remember, using MTN Momo Pay is free of charge. Let's fight corona together. This is an initiative of the Uganda Red Cross Society, supported by
Everywhere You Go, MTN.